Well, Thomas Partey looks like it's not going even reach the summer to see him leave the club of Arsenal. It looks like the January transfer window has come so early for him to obviously leave the club of Arsenal. Welcome to the Rokani Media Football. This is the football news show. As we talk Thomas Partey, we're going to talk Ousmane Dembele and Kovacic returning back from injury and is going to have to take part in his first training session at the Man City training ground down in Manchester. Welcome to this channel. Smash the like button, comment and share. If you're watching us for the very first time, endeavor to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. And Rokani David is my name, and hope you guys are really doing better and better and better and better. So we thank God for the gift of life, and it's a Monday, 27th of November, meaning that we are left with like 3-4 days to hit the end of this month, and hope you guys are really doing better. Now, there is one of you who came on this YouTube channel and obviously commented that Rokani updated me about Thomas Partey. Even in the WhatsApp group, I had a story. Sorry, I saw someone really WhatsApp in that group and asking about what's the latest news about Thomas Partey. We are here to obviously bring you the story to the fullest, and hope you guys are going to enjoy it to where you want it to be. Now, today, we are going to start off with Thomas Partey. We thank God for the gift of life, the Muslims, Barakallahu Fikum. And Santi J, this guy was really credible. Do you know I love him? He's the one who broke the story of Casemiro to Man United. And most of his stories that's going to hate to break have really gone ahead to come to pass. He talked about the deal of Cody Gakpo to Liverpool. He was one of the journalists to obviously break it. Even which other deal has he broken that is really huge? I've forgotten that deal, but he has gone ahead to be really very accurate when it comes to the summer and the winter transfer windows. And he has told us that Juventus want to sign Thomas Partey on loan this January transfer window. Juventus sporting director Gintoli was in London in recent days to meet the player. So this is the guy, and this is the story obviously put up. So that means there is contact between Juventus and Thomas Partey's agent. And it looks like Arsenal have gone ahead to obviously erase Thomas Partey from their plans to obviously coming through and really be one of the pivotal players into their season, like he has always been ever since he was bought from Atletico Madrid to come in through and really play at Arsenal. Now, today, Foot Mercato has confirmed us that Juventus are keen to sign a midfielder in January and have 3 Premier League players on their shortlist: Thomas Partey, Pierre-Emile Højbjerg, and Calvin Phillips. Now, Thomas Partey looks like is wanted by Juventus and other teams in Saudi Arabia, because for them, they'll never stop wanting to sign that player. That is it. And if I told you Thomas Partey, you will understand that you are not as important as you were at Arsenal with the arrival of Declan Rice. I 100% believe that for Mikel Arteta to convince Thomas Partey not to obviously continue pushing, leaving the club of Arsenal, he obviously told him that we are really planning to play you into the team of Arsenal alongside Declan Rice and Martin Odegaard in the midfield. Then he also told him that we are going to play you as an inverted right back. And I think that's why Thomas Partey really said, all right, let me obviously cancel out all my plans to really go to Saudi Arabia or Juventus and start the club of Arsenal. But at the beginning of the season, he was being played as an inverted right back, but he got an injury. And trust me, however much I love Thomas Partey, but I would rather have a player like Declan Rice, who's going to be there for 90% of the season, than Thomas Partey, who's going to be available for just 30% of the season. And that doesn't work well for a player who plays in the midfield, because games of football are won and lost in the midfield. And I think it's high time Arsenal really went ahead to obviously see to it that obviously create space for this guy and obviously let him go. That's why you've seen to it that Arsenal has been linked to very, very, very many players. You know, they've been linked to very, very many players because of what Thomas Partey is all about. And when you look at Juventus, I think they would love to have a Thomas Partey. Calvin Phillips is good, but trust me, he is not at the level of Thomas Partey. though he's really talented, you know what he does, but for the time I was gonna hate to spend without playing at Manchester City, it shows you that he's lacking competitive football, and he might really not obviously fit in well and really do the needful. But remember, when you're to sign a player in January, that means you want a player to come in through and really hit the ground running. And for Thomas Partey, he has gonna hate to do so. Pierre-Emile Højbjerg is also one of those players that hasn't gone ahead to get enough playing time at Tottenham Hotspur. And I think for Juventus, I think they'll choose Thomas Partey over anyone, because Thomas Partey has gone ahead to put in a shift that none of those players are going to have to put in through. And it obviously shows you that his next destination is going to be Juventus. Juventus are really trying to compete for the Scudetto, that is the Serie A trophy in Italy, but they lack some quality in the midfield, with Paul-Emile Pogba getting a suspension because of failing what we call the anti-doping test, and he's out for very many years, and that is obviously going to cost the side of Juventus, meaning that they need another player. That's why they want to get in other players on loan. The same applies to Jadon Sancho. They want to get in players on loan because they believe they can obviously build their squad and see to it that they obviously win the Scudetto, and when they win the Serie A, then they'll see themselves really go into the Champions League and really get some good money to obviously balance up their books to see to it that they don't violate the financial fair play rule. And for Juventus, they are a team that can obviously buy, and if I thought Thomas Partey goes ahead to obviously have a very good season at Juventus, then they'll go ahead and obviously buy him. But all you want to let him know is that it looks like his next destination is going to be Juventus. Wait and see whether that is obviously going to pan out like that, and we'll always be wishing him the best of luck, because at Arsenal I don't see his role anymore. That is it. That's why you see that Arsenal are really vying in for other players, and they want to obviously get rid of Thomas Partey. And that's why you see that they are being linked to different midfielders in the January transfer window. They are being linked to different midfielders in the January transfer window, meaning that there is a midfielder at Arsenal that is set to leave, and that's why Arsenal are really willing to pursue the likes of Douglas Luiz, Paulinho, and very many others. We go to the manager of PSG. He has told us that, I keep insisting on my point, Ousmane Dembele is the most influential player or football player in the world. No doubts, he doesn't care about mistakes. He keeps going. He loves to try. He doesn't listen to criticism. He always generates good things. That is the manager of PSG we're talking about, Ousmane Dembele. For me, when you look at how this guy's going to hate obviously do his job, he is really good and great. That is Ousmane Dembele. And going and wanting back to play, going back to France to playing for that side, I think it was a decision that he made that was really money driven, and maybe he thought that at Barcelona he could lose his position, and they had, maybe someone came out and told him that there is Yamal Lamine who is obviously going to come in through and obviously take over you, because this boy is obviously putting in loads of moments of magic, and we all believe that he's really doing better and better and better. But for Ousmane Dembele at PSG, playing teams in the League One, you anticipate that he's obviously going to thrive and obviously act like how the manager is really saying, because his previous 2 seasons at Barcelona, he has been on fire, and that means if you can perform at that level in La Liga, then what about League One, league that is obviously rated like the 6th league in the world. So that doesn't really surprise me about the player called Ousmane Dembele. But he's really good and talented, and he really puts a foot wrong. That is Ousmane Dembele. Then lastly, Kovacic is in the mix. Mateo Kovacic has returned to Manchester City training. very, very much important. And I would believe that if at all he was in the game of Liverpool, he would have gone ahead to obviously add something a little bit to the side of Manchester City. But I think they're even happy to welcome him back because he's really one of those players that you really want to see him play alongside Rodri in that double pivot that Pep Guardiola usually plays at the side of Manchester City. So guys, thank you very much for watching. Tell me your thoughts about Thomas Partey's next destination revealed. What do you make about Kovacic returning and Ousmane Dembele being hailed by his manager at PSG, that is Luis Enrique? So guys, I sign out for now. See you later. May the living to God bless you abundantly. The Muslims, Barakallahu fikum. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a deal. And I hope you guys are really doing fun, and that's what we had for you. And you're obviously going to be loading in more and more and more videos here in the nick of time. Bye bye. See you when you see me.